This morning's conversation is something that's on our lips since we've been discussing lips on Micah 7 verse 5, right? On our lips this morning. It's a growing concern on music facing a certain cultural recession, which is driven by commercialization and disconnection. It is argued in many sectors and quarters that, listen, music is for different groups of people, so it depends on what you are looking for. However, if we surf on the current market, the question is, would you find therapeutic music or music that feeds the soul? Or, and when I say feeds the soul, in context of what we will say as you're driving your car or you have your headset on, you're listening to songs that the lyrics are just working magic in you, songs that you can use to talk to your loved ones, songs that you can use to express how you feel about the situation, songs that help you speak when you can't speak. Or the songs we are hearing of today are predominantly music that's based off rhythm and trends. And I want to start off with Jason on an opinion like this. What is your take on this subject matter? That is the music being driven by commercialization, or it's letting us step away from what music is supposed to be?
Music is always going to be driven by commercialization. I mean, sometimes we just have these conversations, and I'm listening to other platforms, we like to polish what's going on, but what's going on has always been what's going to be going on. Back in the day, I think when Tupac came out with a nose ring, it was actually a big conversation. When Kanye West came out wearing a backpack, when gangster music was the thing. The new generation and the old generation are actually butting heads, because the new generation is telling the old generation that you are allowed to enjoy what you wanted to enjoy, and this is what we enjoy. Now, what is therapeutic music? Somebody's therapeutic music is Shake It to the Max. And that's just fact. The fact that somebody is not maybe listening to a song that gets them in the mood that song will get you in, doesn't mean that it's not therapeutic to them. That's why last time when I said that Afro-beats is the most watered down and most expansive genre, people actually agreed with me after I gave my explanation, because we're talking about high life. And people were saying, oh, we're not focusing on high life, we're not doing this. The only reason why we're not doing that is because high life is not as big as Afro-beats. Some people behind the scenes know that there's a conscious effort to make Afrobeats a genre like reggae, where when you hear reggae, oh, I know what reggae is. When you hear R&B, oh, I know what R&B is. These things are being put in place because of where we want to put Afrobeats, because of how commercialized it has become. Everybody's talking about everything in Afrobeats. Right now, there's Afrofusion, there's Afroculture. Do you know there's something called Afro Talk, where it's like you're talking on a beat? Like you're not rapping, you're not actually singing with melody. This is the most watered down.
Charlie Poppy does that a lot.
Exactly. And why is it that same energy is given? I'm just using High Life as an example. Why is that same energy is not given to High Life? It's because High Life is not where we want it to be. For whatever reason, maybe it's not because artists are involving themselves as much. Maybe it's because it's not out there as much. But the thing is, what is inspirational music? Like what inspires you is not going to inspire me. So I understand these conversations and understand people feel like, oh, the things that we grew up on, the things that made us who we are as a people are being abandoned. Drake, I feel, is the most versatile artist in the world. Like genuinely, like he does the UK thing, he does the Jamaican thing, he does the Canadian thing, he does the American thing. But he's the most attacked artist for actually being the most versatile, because they say, no, when you're hip hop, you're not supposed to sing on a beat. Yo, rappers are not even rapping anymore. And these are facts. And rappers will tell you they're not rapping anymore because it's become commercialized. Now we sit here and we talk about these rappers who put food on their tables.
For me, I wouldn't say that it's facing a recession. It's more of like tension between cultural preservation and tapping into global commercial markets or trends, because we realize that, it's about, like he said, the last point he made, it was, do you want to be able to put food on your table? Do you want to be able to put food on your table? What is moving now? What are the masses paying attention to? And a conscious effort has been put into making Afrobeat that staple that High Life no longer is. There are genuine efforts to continue to push High Life. We see, AC over the weekend, got something with a song that is predominantly High Life. he's just one of the people that is championing that. We also have a few other people who are trying to. Familia is making high life music. Now he's making high life music because it is our thing. And then all this Afrobeats and all these other genres stem from or have pick their elements from high life music, which is a cultural staple and has always been a source of pride in our culture, community union, like bringing communities together. It was used for social commentary amongst other things, so for me right now it's just there's a tussle, like he's saying, there is a tussle between whether you want to be commercially appealing to the and tap into global markets and global trends, because Afrobeats is now like a global sound, or you want to preserve your culture. That is the
bro, let's just be honest, bro. If you know hits, we now go sit here talk, say the force, but you might be making good music. I mean, I love when we're talking and Cyril said, like, this conversation is every time. Like, we're talking about high life, and it's like we're talking about the same things, but if these people do these things and they're not winning awards, we now can't sit here talk, say, oh, they make the music, so if nobody they listen to your music.
And you even say that the truth, person bro. Is good, but the music is
what do you
good,
have to show for it?
I think that if you want to look out for people who are making good music and you listen, you would find them, right? I'll use Rick Hassan as an example. Do people know Rick Hassan?
Yeah.
Yes. Rick Hassan is like making a lot of good music. But if you don't seek that type of music, you won't find it, because then there's the noise. There's the whole Afro-beats noise, right? So it's clouding the people that are actually just silently working.
But I want to add to your.
I want
to add to what Lenny is saying, because it's not just like there's a noise. There is a conscious effort by record labels and then streaming platforms to push a certain kind of music, because that is the music or
that's
those
trending
are the genres
now.
that are trending, and that's what people are tapping into. You understand? And they have the heavy machinery. You as an independent artist don't have what it takes.
Nope.
To make it through that cloud, all that noise, you understand? So it's either you join the bandwagon and then
it's a choice, bro.
Because our favorite artists, most of our favorite artists are like make authentic music that we fall in love with, and then once they want to get into a certain space, they have to switch.
But there are a lot of questions I have to, but let me hear from Cyril first.
So for what Jason said, spot on with regards to the fact that what somebody considers therapeutic is very, very subjective. Maybe you want to listen to forest sound, somebody wants to listen to heavy metal. It's all therapeutic. So that classification is problematic. But have we lost cultural and art in music? That aspect of the question, yes. Any industry that has such ease of access to production and has an unguarded gateway produces inferior products at some point in time. It's happened with the fashion industry, it's happened with the automobile industry, it's happened with technology. There were times where only a few people could make cars because the cost of production was skyrocketing. And that's why they say old cars last. It's the same with electronics. Those days you have pieces. Do you remember pieces?
Yeah, different decks, yeah.
Different decks. There's a tuner, there's pieces. Pieces they work till today. If you have pieces for your house, maybe some IC way blow, Mensa go do for you. Pieces they work for today because the quality, the standard of production was so high, right, that you don't want to do anything fickle for immediate gratification. It goes on and translates to things like film and, unfortunately, to music. Before you'd get a record off, right? Even as early as J. Cole's career, J. Cole was walking around with CDs hoping to meet Jay-Z and other execs to give them his CD. That's how hard it was to become a relevant musician. Russ, on the other hand, blew up from SoundCloud in his bedroom with a laptop, right? A lot of people blew up from SoundCloud and are trash, right? A lot of people also got their CDs to execs and are trash. So that's when the commercialization of music became problematic. There was a time where commercialization of music was pushing quality. For something to be profitable, didn't have to be shallow, didn't have to be trend-based, and didn't have to be responding to an audience that was indifferent. So you have your Whitney Houstons, you have your Tupacs, your B.I.G. and Pac's fight is not about hip-hop, it's about quality. Who's a better artist than Pac? Pac was a poet. Apart from the gangster and everything, blah blah, you can read Tupac's lyrics and still be impressed. That's how deep Pac was. So Pac being commercial was not just because hip hop forgo commercial. There was still quality in there. But somewhere in the 2000s, the more digitalized music got, the less the quality of the music mattered. The focus now went from the art and the quality of the music to how the audience responds. So when the audience is calling for something, the labels now have to make sure it is available, whether it is great quality, artistically speaking, or not, right? Now, this forced all the other people who were purists, whether you're a hip-hop person, you're an R&B person, blah, 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 to now be diverse, more diverse than they typically should, to conform and be consistent. Okay, moving to Drake's point. The time Drake broke out as a rapper, rap was in a decline. We were done with 50 Cent, we were done with Lil Wayne, we were done with the 2000s rappers. We were done with Eminem, we were done with Busta. We were no, you get what I'm saying. Now, when I say we were done with them, people were on their 4th, 5th albums. Yeah. We're tired. We know what Jay-Z's coming to say. You know, Jay-Z dropped the Black album with Dirt Off Your Shoulder and things. Am I lying? Yeah. No, around the same time or immediately after, and then Drake started doing I Just Wanna Be Successful. Yeah, you understand? Trade songs and things. Yeah. So it became the norm that to survive, you had to adapt. And that's what broke the system. So we've lost the purest form of any music, more or less. That
was a good thing or bad thing?
It's a horrible thing. Because what has happened is that we've killed an entire art form for the economic prospects and survival. Yeah. It's only the heavily commercialized genres that this happens with. Reggae is still reggae. And a lot of the people, Coffee, Chronics, Massacre.
Chronics is even like relaxed, but like really, really relaxed.
You understand? A lot of them still stick very true to the essence of roots
of what music is,
rock,
exactly. So that's
reggae,
what I want to ask a question, Cyril. So don't you think?
Give them last 3
minutes. Don't you think that for those who know what the art form is in its purity, are still moving forward with it, regardless of whatever genres they are doing, and have stuck to what their script is, like without thinking about the noise of Afrobeats?
The harder the point of entry or the ease of entry into the genre. Right, the harder it is, the more quality or the more authentic the music is. You can't speak patois. You can't do double timing. You don't understand the energy of dancehall or reggae. So you can't just wake up and be a dancehall or reggae artist. Even our highly successful reggae dancehall artists across board in Africa are still criticized.
Outside of Jamaica,
are still criticized every day for their patois, criticized every day for their what. Because that's how hard it is to be authentically quote-unquote Jamaican or dancehall or reggae. Everybody can make a pop song. If you have Ed Sheeran on an Afro-beat song, then your ease of entry is non-existent. If you have Chris Brown who can make an Afro-beat song better than the owners of Afrobeat, then your point of entry is non-existent. But you know what? Who in Africa can make an R&B song better than Chris Brown? Oh. Get it? So there's a point where we need to reflect on the fact that our welcoming nature and open nature will definitely get things popping. And there'll be an Afrobeats artist every Tuesday with a new hit that will last for 6 months and then fade off. I asked this question last week, that the acts that broke out in the last 5-6 years, how many are still active today at the pinnacle they were? It's a flash in the pan.
Are you saying that to what the world is turning towards must all be right because of what the masses are requesting?
No. All contrary.
Actually, that one is actually the opposite.
Yeah, what we are saying is the opposite.
Because the people are demanding a certain kind of trend.
Artists have forgotten the power they have. So please continue now.
Okay.
Artists are scared.
People
exactly.
Let me say, in technology, for instance, we have seen growth in technology we've seen things have been, because of technology, things have been made easier and simpler. So from Walkman to Discman to CD players all those things, pen drives, and now even we're sending music via infrared. I don't know if you lived in that era, to Bluetooth. Like we've seen technology has advanced. Now there's airdrop and all. Everything is happening now so quick and fast. We've seen the growth of technology has been systematic, and we appreciate where it is now. Why are we having this conversation? Are we having this convo because the growth of music is being threatened to what music is, not was. Was makes it sound as though there was an era where it was a certain. Music is music. So the growth of what we know music is, and that's how come I use the word therapy in the beginning. And that statement that says it's food for the soul. And I like before you said, but I feel it's flawed because it just opens that, it's like everything can happen in any space. Like you said that maybe EDM is therapeutic to somebody.
That's the truth.
It is the truth, right? But you know what I'm talking about when I say therapy, music being therapeutic. To what I would have sung to express my emotions.
Like what you were playing this morning.
Like what I was playing this morning, you understand? To the times when music could speak on your behalf without having to say a word. It's everything in there. Yeah. From gospel to, I'm not choosing a genre though, but R&B to, to hip hop to rap to what it was.
I was about to say something.
To what I would have used Tupac's lyrics to express. To what I would have used Jay-Z's lyrics back in the day to express how I want to feel cool and use Reasonable Doubt album to show you what I mean. Those kind of things. Even the mannerisms. Even when Jay was on Sorry with Nas and Khaled, and it got to Jay's part, you realize it got to Jay's part. You could tell a certain calm and chill and hip hop. Even in Nas, yes, I shouldn't rub off Nas. Yeah. You could feel it in there to what music is. But in this day and age, as we sit here now, are we?
Okay, please. Continue.
Even in re-expressing love, how are we expressing love? How is music changing what love is? And I can dare ask you that. Name one artist in Ghana that best expresses love to what love is, how love is expressed when it comes to music.
Me.
I have a song.
So you realize that a lot of the commercial artists.
Yeah, I'll offer it to you.
A few might come to mind, but they are not at the level of what I can sit and say that I am playing this song to tell you how I really feel about you.
Kofi Kenata.
You understand? So no. I mean,
there's no bigger love song than Ochame Kwame.
I'm just saying that. I'm not saying that you will not. I didn't say you won't find. It's there. But sorry to make a comparison. But how would have sung?
It's perfect.
Guys, how I would have sung Whitney Houston or Tony Braxton or I see dreams and trees red and blue. What do you call that? What was those guys saying? And I said to myself, what a wonderful world. Like what music where the entire composition from and you see when Kill Beats came, he said there are progressions that can trigger certain emotions. And that statement has lived with me for years. You understand? Before he even said it. And it's true for those who understand how to actually play the keyboard, they can get certain chords to you. So sometimes in our Ghanaian chords, which is the charismatic chords, when I say charismatic, like we have a certain kind of progression that we use in Ghana here, where it can play almost every song. That it can sing almost every song into it. So we don't have that much, but for those who understand music, they can actually express themselves in various chords. So it comes back to us. Is our music threatened because the custodians of the music industry, the beat makers and co, have they been well groomed into music to understand that they hold a certain responsibility of feeding the soul? But then you always flaw my statement with music can be therapeutic.
I think Lenny said something about this the last
time. You are speaking about the ideal situation, and we all know that's the purpose, and that we've lost that purpose. But his justification also makes sense that because it's art, it will forever remain subjective.
Of course.
Music. One thing we should remember is.
Especially a nice pal.
Thank you. I'll get you one. I saw a tweet actually last 2 days ago, and the tweet was something along the lines of, why are women always sexualizing and sexualized? Right? Do you need certain chords to make a song that you twerk to? It's perfect chords. I just want to know.
I'm not a musician.
You need rhythm, but you don't need to sit down and play a certain piano and do a certain this or a certain that.
Okay, so what's the point?
Everybody can do what they like. This is what society is talking about. So now a female artist is coming out that she might not want to, but she's like, if I don't take it off, I'm not saying all girls are doing this or all girls are thinking like this. They feel like they have to. So this is what's happening. CEO said, when there's the point of entry, there's easy access that everybody can do what everybody wants to hear. Everybody's going to do what everybody wants to hear. So this was society.
Does everybody want to hear, or we are being?
I said that's why I said I don't want to forget.
We're assuming and generalizing.
That's why I also said let us not forget that musicians have forgotten, or artists are forgetting that they have power. We control what people listen to. Don't forget that. But we think that the audience controls.
Kanye West just dropped
right.
something
yeah.
which is very
I have to wrap up here.
All streaming platforms have taken it down.
I heard that, bro.
So
what
where's
did he
the
say?
artist?
No, he can't say that on air.
No, I'm coming. I'm just saying. It's because music sometimes
Cuss
is
words?
about challenging the norms, right? Arts.
Oh no, I'm asking. I haven't heard.
I get it.
Was it
but-
cuss?
Like we can't actually even say it. Yeah,
I get it. I get it. But
music.
that's where someone was making a point that there are songs that you hear people saying "Hail Satan" and all kinds of things. They never take those songs down. Adolf Hitler is a cultural phenomenon for a number of reasons because of the things that he did. Someone has chosen to talk about him in a particular way, right? We all don't subscribe to it. We all don't agree to it. But it's the same thing that other people don't subscribe or agree to hailing Satan. But you leave that on your platform. So where is the artist's power when you, as a streaming platform or as a big company with the machinery, decide to take it down across all platforms, across board? So for the artist's power thing, I really don't think that it's a matter of artists forgetting.
But
that
we
they
have.
Okay, all right, guys, we'll take it on a Wednesday. This is a great convo to have as well. But thank you very much, gentlemen and lady as well. We'll be back here same time tomorrow with Dr. Chris as we talk more health issues here. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Culture Daily was brought to you by Telecel.